nice. वापस आ गया मैं आपका दोस्त होस्ट जयंत कृपलानी। विवेकानंदा आंसर में आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत है। लेकिन मेरी बात छोड़िए, आज हमारे बीच जितने दोस्त मौजूद हैं उन सब का एल्मा मेटर कॉमन है। इन सब ने कहीं न कहीं रामकृष्ण मिशन स्कूल से ही अपनी एजुकेशनल लाइफ को शुरू किया था। I guess at the pinch you could call all of them protégés of Swami Vivekananda in the true sense of the term. Sirs, welcome to our show. There's Ashok, Bani, Agni, Kaustubh and Bhushan. आज हमारे साथ होंगे शिव प्रदानंद जी महाराज, सेक्रेटरी रामकृष्ण आश्रम पटना। Shall we welcome Swami ji? Please, sir. आइए। Good to see you. Please. दोस्तों, शायद आपको पता हो कि रामकृष्ण मिशन स्कूल में महाराज जी के अलावा बहुत सारे नॉन मोनास्टिक मेंबर भी होते हैं जो कि इन महान कामों में हाथ बटाते हैं। आज हमारे साथ हैं स्वपन बंदोपाध्याय एंड शक्ति प्रसाद मिश्रा, रामकृष्ण मिशन पुरुलिया स्कूल के शिक्षक। वेलकम सर, प्लीज। But this episode is a bit different. आज कोशिश यही होगी कि हम लोग ये जाने कि कैसे लाखों छात्र तैयार होते हैं इतने सारे रामकृष्ण मिशन स्कूल में। An institute of academic excellence carefully conceived by Swamiji and nurtured by his able disciples. तो महाराज जी आप ही बताइए किस तरह से रामकृष्ण मिशन स्कूल दूसरे स्कूलों से अलग?
Thank you very much for a very good question, I should say. And I think our schools, the schools run by Ramakrishna Mission institution, are not different from any other school so far as curriculum is concerned, as it is trained by the central board or board of secondary education. But we try to encourage our students to imbibe the spirit of truthfulness, maintenance of physical and mental purity, spirit of self-sacrifice. These are the things we encourage our students to imbibe in their lives. And I would ask Shapanda, what is your opinion about our method of teaching? What do you say?
Yes, a very nice question, of course. Now, the method of teaching depends on particularly the spirit of teaching. That is, I want to say very specifically that a teacher should have sincere love and respect for the students. Until and unless these two qualities are there in a teacher fails to impress upon the students.
I will accept that totally. आप जो कह रहे हैं मैं उसके साथ बिल्कुल सहमत हूँ, लेकिन एक तो सवाल पैदा होते हैं मन में जिस I am going to question this. You said earlier that your system of education, or let me put it differently, your system of curriculum is pretty much the same as the higher secondary system, etc. over there. Which means it's the little bit that I know about the education, it is a system of rote learning. हाँ कि हमें इम्तिहान पास होना है, इतने परसेंटेज मार्क्स मुझे मिलने हैं, इतने मुझे कॉलेज में एडमिशन नहीं मिलने वाली है। ये फर्क आपके, how do you open the minds of the students in your school? Yes.
Well, जैसे महाराज जी अभी बता रहे थे इसके बारे में, what I particularly think is that our institutions are a little bit different from other schools, even as we follow the same HS or secondary curriculum. Okay. One thing, as I very strongly feel, that as a teacher, we have tremendous power to make a choice like miserable or joyful.
Oh, I know the miserable part of it very well. Yes.
Okay. but especially in our institutions, I know that because they are residential, we have a sort of brotherly relationship. And definitely in every hostel, they feel that they have someone they can go to, they can trust, and they can express themselves when they are away from their parents. So there is a little bit of emotional bond. And another, what I think that our school is a little bit different, even many contain
Narendrapur, Purulia, or Devghar, some other institutions, elite school. But I must say that there is absolutely no case when a boy was to discontinue his studies because of financial disabilities.
नहीं,
So far there has been
आप बिल्कुल सही बात कह रहे हैं, लेकिन सवाल मेरा कुछ अलग था। मेरा सवाल ये था, और जो स्वामी जी ने आपको कहा जवाब देने के लिए, कि ये जो आपने कहा बिल्कुल सही था, और मैंने बड़ी खुशी होती है कि आप एक एल्डर ब्रदर और फादर फिगर है, लेकिन आप स्टूडेंट्स, हाउ डू यू expand their minds away from the Rama, that kind of rote study?
Actually, we try to make our students mentally alert and physically strong. So we arrange, apart from their curriculum, we arrange, say, drawing class, music class, and say social service camp, adult literacy camp. So these are arranged so that they can manifest the hidden qualities of life.
Yes, but this is what, see, all these other activities then make accepting the rote curriculum, I mean, less painful is the best way I can think of putting it. नहीं तो वही तो सुबह, because आप डे स्कॉलर्स के लाइफ में देखिए, वो सुबह जाते हैं स्कूल, शाम को आते हैं, फिर 1 घंटा टीवी के सामने बैठते हैं, और फिर 4 घंटे अरे भैया, and this awful word, ये portion, I never understood this portion. We have to finish this portion by tomorrow, otherwise.
In residential setup, though they are very much away from their home, but they feel quite at home in their respective institutions.
And they are doing other things, which makes them
games and sports.
If you kindly permit, I may add one or two sentences to that. That is, that we people there in Ramakrishna Mission schools, we attach more importance to how the students spend their leisure time, not their study time. Because during the study time they will study and they will write whatever you like. But during the leisure time, if you do not have any opportunity to expand the horizon of your mind, it will not be very nice for the boys. So that is what we try to do in our schools. That is in leisure time, we try to expand their horizon.
We have 5 people here who are either going to disagree with you or agree with you. Let us speak out. But 2 things really. One is what sir was saying over here about how miserable were you in school?
Again, I have to roll back myself to 1986. I passed out. I entered that school in 1979. Long back. And all those memories are still vivid in my mind today. जब मैंने आया था, घर छोड़ के आया था, घर छोड़ के दूसरा घर में आ गया, पता ही नहीं चला, एक दूसरे को पकड़ते हुए 8-9 साल बिता लिया, पास भी कर लिया, कैसे किया वो मालूम नहीं। बट अभी जब सोचते हैं लगता है वो डिसिप्लिन, 4 बजे उठ के अगर एक भी एक्टिविटी आपका मिस हो जाता है 10 मिनट के लिए, 5 मिनट के लिए भी, तो होल डे आपका लेट चला जाता है। शुरू में पनिशमेंट लगता था, बट इवेंचुअली जब पास करने लगे तो लगा कि यही लाइफ ऐसा है। अभी जब ये लाइफ में अभी का जो लाइफ है, तो वी वर कैरिंग सम ऑफ दोस थिंग्स। आई स्पेंड सम टाइम इन यूरोप, तो उधर का डिसिप्लिन लाइफ, उनका जो लॉ अबाइडिंग काइंड ऑफ थिंकिंग। आई एम इंजीनियर, आई एम वर्किंग एज अ वाइस प्रेसिडेंट फॉर सम कंपनी सैंडिकेशन में। तो अभी जब देखते हैं वो डिसिप्लिन, जो बचपन में जो डिसिप्लिन सिखाया गया था, उसका 10% भी नहीं दिया मैंने, बट वहाँ का वन ऑफ द लॉ अबाइडिंग सिटीजन में आई वाज taken into the society in that way.
But अच्छा एक बात बताइए, ये this is the discipline part you're talking about, and of course the curriculum part we've accepted that it was of a standard.
Yes.
What are the other benefits? I mean, did you all this extracurricular? How did you utilize those in your later life?
I remember we used to have a half school and a half day school on the day of Wednesday. It is very unusual for other schools. तो उसमें हम लोगों को कुछ टाइम मिलता था, तो वो एक गैप रहता था। एंड एवरी वीक में लास्ट क्लास, जनरली इट वाज इन सैटरडे, प्रोबेबली सैटरडे, लास्ट क्लास यूज्ड टू बी सीपी क्लास, कल्चरल प्रोग्राम। सो एक स्टेज में जाने का, जो वो आइस को ब्रेक करके जाके बात करना, ये सब चीज हम लोग जिस बैकग्राउंड से आए थे, हमारे लिए वो क्वाइट अनयूजुअल था वहाँ पे जाने के लिए। बट ये लोग चांस दिए, हम लोग गए, करते वो it becomes very easy now. And
Thank you, Ashok.
Yeah, I just want to make one point. School में, if you go to our school, if you ever visit our school, and I would request you to visit our school if you haven't done so, you'd see that overall standards in terms of the culture, the art, if you see the buildings, the sculpture, so you get exposed to something which has its roots in the Indian culture, but at the same time it's very global, very modern, and very uplifting for your mind. So you get immersed in a environment, in an environment where your overall mental faculties, I think, are lofted to a high level.
आप आजकल क्या करते हैं?
आजकल तो मैं IBM में काम करता हूँ.
हाँ.
It's a multinational.
बहुत lofty है ये.
But I think, because we went there as fresh minds at a very young age. So, I felt that the way our minds get molded over the first few years of your forming age, that is very important to create the foundation for your future years.
Swamiji, he was talking about the architecture, and it's almost like a molecular representation of the way Swami Vivekananda used to think the atmosphere that is.
Yes. Swamiji actually tried to reflect these aspects of life also.
In around the institutions that have been created after him have been.
Yes. He was a great lover of art and culture, and while he actually went around India, and afterwards when he delivered his lectures, he wrote different letters to his disciples or admirers. There he mentioned this aspect of life. So this reflects the Indian culture as such.
This is what you felt when you were there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you are exposed to a level of culture that is very high in terms of standard, I think automatically it has an influence in your mind, whether you take everything, you have the capacity to absorb everything or not. But I think just the sheer exposure,
Osmosis.
yeah, it's a kind of osmosis. Yeah, I mean the mental osmosis. So as much as you can, I mean, some people will probably absorb it more to a greater degree, some people maybe to a lesser degree. But I think it really makes a
Kushal,
difference.
you say.
Yeah.
Yes, Kushal, you wanted to say.
Yeah, I basically want to summarize the two things. We went there when we were pretty young. I was 10 years of age when I went to Purulia.
कौन सा class था ये?
That was class 4. And so when you leave your home, there are two things that made us feel at home there. One is the environment that you was just mentioning. It's a fantastic environment, and probably that you realize later on in your life when you go back, revisit the place, that how fantastic that environment was. And to add to that, you have the personalities around, like people who were our wardens. We had a emotional bonding with them.
That's what you say.
That exactly made our life so easy right from the word go. That in fact, I remember very clearly when I used to discourage my parents to visit me, because when they did actually visit me, I would be a little mentally upset that now they are going. So I said, I'm very well here. I'm absolutely fine. You won't visit me often. So that's the point really.
I'm going to guess, okay, I'm going to break in here. That reminds me of something. I was sent to a boarding school, class 5. Okay. Not class 4 as he was, class 5. Perhaps I should have been a little bit more mature. I hated it. There's no two ways about it. It took me 3 years to convince my parents to get me out of there. और फाइनली उन लोगों ने मुझे स्कूल से निकाला क्योंकि मैं उस क्लास में मैथ तो फर्स्ट आता था, तो उन्होंने कहा कुछ गोलमाल हो गया, तो मुझे निकाला और डे स्कॉलर में डाला और 26वां 27वां रैंक मेरा हो, तो हाँ ये अच्छी स्कूल है. लेकिन but isn't it a bit young to take people out from a home environment and put them into a strange environment like this? I know you do it, but I know the parents also do it, but does it smack of a certain amount? I don't know how to this. I'm sure it's good because look at these guys, they've grown up really well. But I get worried sometimes.
Yeah, I personally feel that you might have had a little bitter experience. Okay, but he didn't have any bitter experience. Basically, for one simple reason.
I had no bitter experience except for the fact that I was taken out of my parents' home and shoved into.
Okay, you were a little bit sad that you were put there at such a young age, which Kushal probably was not. For example, I would say,
Were you or weren't you? Initially? No. Comfortable. Okay.
He was comfortable.
Better man than I am.
because, that these Swamijis, they consider it their sadhana, part of their sadhana, upasana, puja. Naturally, spiritually, they have a different look at whole thing. There is absolutely no question of profit making. There is absolutely no question of himself being glorified outside. They consider it puja. Naturally, there is this particular basic difference between the principals. He was the principal for almost a decade there. So, you know it very well that this is a part of his puja, and therefore, they don't expect anything in return. Okay, because they have done their job, they have done their puja, the rest will take care of itself. That is one of the very important aspects.
Actually, we consider our students as Narayan.
Okay.
We do our puja, we offer our offerings of puja to Chhatro Narayan.
Okay.
So that is our idea. And though we are male, but we try to offer motherly love to our students. Swami Vivekananda once said, Sannyasin should have motherly heart. So we have tried a lot to inculcate the spirit of Swamiji so that we can offer motherly love to our students.
ये तो अच्छी बात है सर. हमने जितनी बात सुनी आज अच्छी बातें सुनी. फिर आपकी पिटाई हुई कभी स्कूल में?
Almost
हर रोज पिटाई करते थे. बहुत स्कोल्डिंग में होते थे. ये कह रहे थे स्कोल्डिंग तो कम होता है.
Certainly never scolded us. We have a particular day.
तो पिटाई होती थी.
पिटाई नहीं, just some
छात्र नारायणों की पिटाई तो होती है.
पोषा कोई सक नहीं.
बोलो मेरे भाई बोलो.
Some of the pitais were politically incorrect.
सुनिए,
किया जाए तो
घर में सुनिए जी, घर में तो माँ तो पिटाई करते हैं बच्चा को ना, उसी तरह की पिटाई.
मुझे तो कभी नहीं पिटाई.
I would like to share one experience that Maharaj told about this motherly feeling. We had we have a monastic member as our chief warden, and he was literally a replacement of mother for many of us. He used to ask about all the small things in life, why did you cut your hair, or your toenails have grown a bit too much, are you okay? And all these things made a huge difference looking back.
And every day he is visiting to all the hostels. Every day.
एक बात बताइए कि आपने जिस nail your haircut and your nail. One of the reasons I hated, I think, the school that I was sent to is because every morning you had to stand in line like this.
No.
No wonder you like this school. In my school you had to stand like this in the line and the person will say,
No, it's not
first
like
the
that.
stick, then the nail cutter.
No,
So
actually,
there is a difference between discipline and regimentation.
I was regimented.
So I think here we are not talking about regimentation, but more about discipline, which is how to lead your life in a, I'd say, structured, planned fashion, so that you don't, deviate from the key objectives that you have to do. Right? And that's the key thing to discipline, right?
We try to make our students self-disciplined. It's not imposed on them. It comes naturally.
I want to mention one incident. Shapanda was a warden in the class from 8 to 10. So he was prepared the routine when we were going to our home in the vacation. He was preparing our routine for everyone. 86 students were there. We are 4 here. So he knows what is lacking in his subjects. According to this, he was preparing our routine. And we have to maintain this throughout the vacation, and we have to, that time no mobile, no phones are there.
And what do you do now?
I am a veterinary doctor in the state government.
You are a vet.
I am a vet.
Okay. So I hope you impart the same kind of kindnesses to the animals you treat them.
We have to, definitely. Actually, when we are in the hospitals, mainly major people who are coming to us for the treatment, major people are under the below poverty line. BPL people are there.
No, I understand what you're saying about Shopunda, that he actually took a personal interest in all the 83 children that were there. 86 students that were there. And nothing was left to a kind of group mein aap log ye karo, group mein you do this, group mein you...
Group maybe?
No, but it was not a general discipline, it was each individual care and concern was there. Sir, Swami ji, आपसे ये मेरा प्रश्न है कि जितने सारे स्टूडेंट्स मिशन स्कूल से निकलते हैं वो सब क्या अपने अंदर स्वामी जी के विचार धारण कर चुके हैं और do some of them turn out to be rotten eggs or rotten apples?
I should say, to a great extent, it depends on three things. One is willingness of the student, concerned student, whether he is willing to take up the spirit of Swamiji in his life or not. The second one, his capacity, mental and intellectual capacity to retain the ideal. And the third one is the follow-up action of the parents and the members of his family. So, if these three things goes all right, then I don't think it will be very difficult for our students to continue his life in the spirit of Swamiji's ideal and ideology.
So you have any, are there any instances of bad apples that are...
एक बात हम बताना चाहते हैं कि ये लोग these boys, I think sometime or other in their life they feel what is the essence of the learning that they got in Ramakrishna Mission schools. So at one point of time they have to realize.
They all say that,
Yes.
even now they're saying that. Yeah.
Actually, this is the point. So, just I want to add to Maharaj's saying that to a great extent, I would say to the fullest extent. Because at one point of time they realize, even they cannot come back from their woes, still they retain somewhere in their mind that we were there in a paradise. So that is the feeling they probably bear within them. So why this came to them? Because of the fact that we all try to believe in the idea. Each soul is potential. What Swamiji said.
This is yes.
Yes. And having this idea in mind, we try to respect them. We try to offer our service to them. And we try our best to make them understand that nobody is to be hated or to be driven away. Everybody is our own.
दोस्तों ऐसा लगता है कि बातचीत बस अभी शुरू हुई है, लेकिन घड़ी महाशय बता रही हैं कि आज के लिए वक्त एकदम खत्म. But don't get disappointed, my friends. I will be back on the next episode again with these two eminent teachers, Swamiji and this marvelous bunch of students and examples of students from the mission school. धन्यवाद महाराज जी for your valuable time. आप सबका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमारे साथ बने रहने के लिए, और नेक्स्ट एपिसोड में करेंगे और भी बातें होंगे और भी सवाल जवाब. तब तक से stay strong, stay inspired. Namaskar and thank you.